to do, and that'll then obviously help us sort of determine the value, the price in terms of what we're willing to pay or prepared to pay for that horse and how we feel in the marketplace. So I think pretty easy to see why and understand physically he caught our eye. Obviously a lovely, strong chestnut colt here that's well developed, mature in himself. He's got the physical strength. He looks like he's got the maturity mentally as well to go with it. So he really stood up early in terms of our list of the horses that we feel can be trying to represent us in those early races next year, whether it be the Magic Millions or those super lead-ups that we're currently in through now, because of that natural strength and muscle tone that he carries already. See a lot of that sort of Choisir, Star Spangled Banner coming through that line of him. Obviously, State of Rest himself wasn't a chestnut, but the genetics are coming through there. He looks a fast and precocious horse there. Got a great constitution, great appetite, just ticks all the boxes. He goes home, eats, sleeps, and is ready to run through the brick wall for you again tomorrow. So he's been great through the early part for us.
State of Rest team, so he's a first crop sire, stands at Newgate, of course. Know him really well, the stallion. What can I say? He won 4 Group 1 races in 4 different countries, State of Rest. He's the first horse in history to win 3 consecutive Group 1 races on 3 different continents. So you talk about constitution, his own sire was incredible. Of course, winning a Group 1 in America, then coming over here for our Cox Plate. You remember that famous duel he had with Animo. Of course, we've been going mad for Animo's first crop yearlings this year, and rightly so. But State of Rest beat Animo as a 3-year-old as well. But remember, he had to carry 6 kilos more that day because he was a Northern Hemisphere 3-year-old. So it was a huge effort to beat Animo that day. That tells you how world class he was, and of course went back to Europe, won at Royal Ascot in front of the Queen in the Prince of Wales, and then
he did it with good sustained speed, didn't he?
He was a front-running middle distance horse. Yeah,
that's sort of what separates him with some of the other European horses, I think. Obviously, him having the success he has here in Australia ticks that box, but
yeah,
that's hard to do over that sort of track, that distance.
Yeah, and I think he was probably more precocious than his race record reads, because Joseph O'Brien, that was the year that COVID actually stopped racing in Europe, and they weren't allowed to race until June, and he actually came out on debut as a June 2-year-old. And you can imagine the 2-year-old fields at that stage were enormous because nothing had been able to race for 6 months, and they all went to the same races. And he won on debut in June as a 2-year-old. Before I talk to Sean's really got a great insight here, because he was in Europe for this horse's first crop in Europe, and they sold really well, State of Rest. But what I'd just like to quickly comment on is you can see the physicality of him. This horse doesn't look a middle distance horse at all, does he? He's big, he's strong, he's forward as anything we've got in our yearling barn. Just step up here, Johnny. I'm just going to get you to face the hedge, if that's all right. Just facing the hedge, if that's all right. And I'll just get you to turn around. Have a look at the strength behind the saddle he's got. Just enormous, powerful pelvis, hip, gaskin. He really looks like, if you look at his second generation Star Spangled Banner. Remember that super fast horse, top sire, a horse that won the Caulfield Guineas, a horse that won at Royal Ascot up the straight. He's actually a dead split of his grandsire, Star Spangled Banner. But Sean, you talk us through his first crop yearlings, because they went down well in Europe.
Yeah, so I've probably seen more State of Rest than most people. I'm a massive fan of the sire. I think you've heard all the great things about him. You know, everything was chucked at him, traveling, climate changes, going to different countries, air travel, and he's just still won. Like anything that was put in front of him, State of Rest came up on top. And then I've seen a lot of his stock as yearlings in Ireland and England and France, and they all went down so well. He stands at Rathbarry Stud, and we describe the horse a slightly different way in Europe. Like, we always go, it's a lovely athletic type, massive hind quarter, has a really nice step to them. And State of Rest just seems to be producing that stock into everything, fillies or colts. And I guess you always like to see the market going towards a certain direction in terms of first season sires. And I've got to say, a lot of the what I call the best judges in Europe were all on him.
Right, Johnny, anything from you from your side with the horse?
He's a lovely horse to do anything with. He's such a dude. Everyone loves this horse in the stables. Everyone's such a big fan of this horse. He's so easy to do anything with. He loves people. He loves to be around people. He does everything I ask him to do and does it correct every time. First time. It's just, if they're all like this, my job would be so much easier.
Oh, lovely, Trish. And that's such a big deal. Temperament